Have you ever looked at the news and been filled with a sense of doom and despair? Have you ever seen an important person say something so outrageous it makes you wonder how anyone even allowed them to get this far? Have you ever went to your local gas station or your local supermarket, looked at the prices and wondered where did it all go wrong? What if I told you there was one thing that was at least partially responsible for all these problems, and many others? Something so vile, so filled with hate that many of you probably actively avoid it. That terrible thing I speak of is known as politics. As I'm sure you're all aware, over the past few decades, the political realm has devolved into a cesspool of garbage, and at the center of that garbage is the beef between the Democratic and Republican parties. You know, you'd think in a country as big as the United States, we would be able to have calm and civil conversations regarding issues in our country. But no, we're stuck with two political parties fighting for who can be the biggest nuisance. It's like their whole thing is just demonizing the other side. Like, if you ever go to a YouTube news live stream and you look at the live chat, you will see some of the most heinous and hateful things ever uttered from somebody's mouth. Now, I know most of those comments are probably just made by bots, but there's still a non-zero chance that there's at least one absolute degenerate chud that's actually making some of those comments. Another thing is the glaze. The glaze. The glaze that some of these politicians are getting is actually astonishing. Like, the way that some of these people talk about their favorite politician, you'd think that they're out here ending world hunger. It also goes the other way, too. Some of these people will describe their opposing party like they're out here kicking puppies for fun. And the thing is, the majority of liberals and conservatives are just normal functioning members of society. It's really just the politicians in charge of these parties that are spreading all this hatred for their own personal gain. Another thing that baffles me is the sheer amount of corruption. Like, the Department of Justice will release evidence of the most horrific and degenerate crimes in human history and then proceed to make absolutely zero arrests. It's like nowadays politicians can just do whatever they want with zero fear of repercussion beyond some random judge saying, hey, you can't do that. Also, how is gerrymandering still allowed? Like how is any of this allowed? Now, I've already talked a lot of crap about the two political parties, but it gets even worse because neither of them are actually helping with real issues. Like how no one can afford to go to college, no one can afford to buy a house, no one can afford to have kids, and no one can get a job because the job market is horrendous and everything's getting replaced by AI. But instead of focusing on that, they decide to focus on giving $10 billion to Benjamin Netanyahu and arguing over what this body of water's called. Now, I know I've talked a lot of doom and gloom in this video so far, but what if I told you guys that it doesn't have to be this way? No matter what they try to tell you, yes we, can make a real difference if we work together. And I've got a plan. I'm being dead serious, by the way. I plan to start a movement to stop corruption and promote unity and patriotism in the United States, because I don't like how things are going right now, and if you're still watching this video, I don't think you do either. Now, I don't want to just go into this blindly. I want to make sure that this will have enough backing to actually work. And that's why I'm going to wait until I hit 500k subscribers before I actually start the movement. I know it sounds like I'm just begging for subscribers, but I need to make sure this is actually going to work. Anyways, hope you enjoyed my first video, and have a good one.